When art dealers were selling off ancient sculpture, the collectors expected it to be more or less, as it would have been in ancient times. And of course, missing limbs, missing noses, ears, hands, feet like that didn't sell very well. So in Rome, there was a number of workshops, very good at producing contemporary pieces, which would then be attached to the ancient pieces. If they didn't do that, sometimes they put together pieces from different ancient sculptures, and in that way they created a complete work. Also, totally in the museum we have around 400 Greek and Roman portraits, so it's one of the largest collections in the world outside Italy, of course. In many instances, the reconstructions, the artificial noses have been taken off, but in many cases we have also left them on. In some cases it would completely destroy the aesthetic expression of a piece, and in other cases, such as sculpture, if we would take off the artificial limbs, etc., the sculptures would simply collapse. Noses are normally missing from Asian sculptures. Let's say the extremities are normally missing from the faces, meaning that the nose would be gone, the ears would be gone, things like that, because that is the pieces on the sculpture which stands out. Now you have to remember that these sculptures are very old, 2,000 years and more. They would have been in the soil for quite some time, maybe reused in buildings, things like that. And of course, in the course of time, they have been worn down. Sculptures as a whole also, obviously what breaks off first, and that is the arms, it's the legs, etc. So these are the pieces that often you would have to reconstruct. If you didn't have a very, let's say, nice face, I mean, you could then present yourself having features much more appealing. It was a very common thing. So portraiture was a way of communication, the image that you would like other people to have of you. I mean, you can draw a line from that to Facebook, Twitter, things like that. You yourself reflect yourself in front of the surrounding world.
Well, it's quite interesting that you can actually have a collection of noses that there aren't antique per se, but they've been added to statues in order to make them more lifelike and more complete. It seems as if people back then were more interested in having complete statues to look at.
It's interesting to think that some people, or people in the past, wanted to make them whole, in their opinion, versus their not original state, because they're found broken. At some point they were whole.